You say that this relationship between the two leaders is strong but brittle. Just explain what you mean by that.
Well, I think Mr. Trump and Mr. Abe have a very good personal relationship. Mr. Abe has made sure of that. Mr. Trump in office has been very pro the US-Japan alliance. But like a lot of people here in Washington and elsewhere in the world, the Japanese worry about Mr. Trump's personality. They worry about him changing his mind on issues he's just made commitments to. And of course, the deepest Japanese worry is that Mr. Trump will go to China and do some sort of deal with China that undermines Japan.
Is that a reason why you think the president did not walk away from Japan with any kind of trade wins?
No, I think Mr. Trump is interested in bilateral trade deals, but most importantly, bilateral trade deficits and surpluses and fixing them in America's favour. That's not the main game in Japan. The main game in Japan is multilateral trade, and particularly the TPP. Now, that, of course, is a toxic word here in Washington, but in Asia, the TPP is still the main game. Japan does not want to do a bilateral trade deal with the US because that would diminish the TPP. They are keeping a seat warm for the US to hopefully come back there one day.
So just tie this into some of the comments that Donald Trump made. I mean, he said, quote, massive amounts of military equipment from the United States will be bought from Japan going forward. We know there was an annoyance on the part of the president that when North Korea sent a missile over Japan, they didn't shoot it down. He kind of alluded to that. That would happen in the future. He also gave a scathing critique of the fact that Japan doesn't buy any United States cars, but they ship a load over to the United States. So I mean, it's kind of fiery rhetoric once again from the president. I know it's not unusual, but what does it mean for the trade relationship going forward as you say, Japan's focused on the TPP?
Well, I think the US has got a two-track approach. They're close on security issues. The US and Japan have got a very close relationship going on, discussing the DPRK, North Korea and the like, and handling that threat, and of course strengthening the military relationship. On trade, you go back to the 1980s, you know, when Mr. Trump sort of came of age politically, Japan was his main target. He's never really got over that. The fact is actually about 70% of Japanese cars sold in the US today are made in the US. I don't think Mr. Trump has caught up to that, but he wants to find any pressure points that he can to really improve the US position.